Hey everybody, today I am going to be unboxing my Ninja coffee maker. I also will be demonstrating, well, showing how it works. As you can see, it's packaged very well. It's always nice. And it's easier for me to tip the box upside down and pull it out, as you can see. Alright. And I'm pretty excited about this too, because I love me some coffee, just like anybody else. I mean, unless you're not a fan of coffee, then I don't know why you would be watching this video. Just kidding. I try to be funny. I try. Whether or not it actually works, I have no idea. Alright, so it does come with this nifty little envelope right on the top. I'm going to go ahead and say, oh! You actually get your first little starter pack of cone coffee filters. And then we have your owner's guide along with a quick start guide. I'll definitely thumb through those here in just a minute. Again, I'm going to tip this upside down just to get it out of the box. I just find it a lot more convenient to do it that way. Or easier. Convenient, easier. Take your pick. Alright. So, boy. Plug in. Cord. Oh, nice. Very exciting. Get this plastic wrap off of here. So as you can see, they've done a very good job getting everything in here. Wow, this definitely looks pretty nice. I'm impressed so far. I haven't even done anything with it yet. Alright. This is probably the most well-packaged coffee maker that I've come across so far. Just the level of packaging is outstanding. It's really neat. Here is your little scoop, actually. It's on, oh, sorry about that. It was just taped right here, so I think that is another neat little feature, just to have your scoop handy, because you just stick it right back on there, kind of like so. So that is really convenient. And it looks like you can do either 3 to 5 cups or 4 to 7 on the one end, and then the smaller end you can do 2 to 3 or 3 to 5 on here. So that's kind of cool. I know I haven't even got to the user guide yet, but that was pretty neat. Just being able to see that. And this is your little fold-out tray for when you want to do just your single mug. It does look like, yeah, I am gonna probably fall in love with this because you can do your K-cups in here too. And that's what this little tray is for. And it folds up really nice and convenient, out of the way for you. And then this is obviously your water reservoir here. Let me just see about getting the tape off of this. And then I'll unbox the carafe here. Maybe. Good grief. That packing tape, whatever you want to call it, kind of tape is extremely secure, as you can see. And this is a pretty awesome coffee maker. Oh, put that off. And then maybe. You know, it'd help if I knew how to open the box too. Alright, we're getting somewhere. I promise. We're getting closer. Closer to the finale here. Okay, and there's your carafe. Cool, so there's the unboxing part. Let me go ahead and see about getting through the quick start guide, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so I've had a chance to thumb through the quick start guide and the owner's manual. It does say, as usual, to clean all of the products, all of the attachments, before you go ahead and run your first cycle. Since I live in a high altitude region, it does say that you must calibrate your machine before using it to brew coffee. If you don't live in a high altitude region, then you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to, per instructions, rinse all of these attachments, like my carafe and the water reservoir, and I also wanted to show you how this works here, because I had no idea how to get it open. I'm just being honest here, because obviously you can lift it open here. Of course now it probably won't work now that I've tried to. So you can lift it open for your K-cup, but also if you want to do the ground coffee part, which I didn't notice, but you push this part back, because it slides back to get to your coffee grounds, or it comes completely off. You know, but that's what I get for... Wow! That's kind of not sturdy. As you can see me fidgeting with it here. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Because it slid off just perfectly fine a second ago when I was trying to open it or figure out how to open it. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I know what I'm doing here. Okay. Nonetheless, you're supposed to just be able to slide this whole entire thing back. Kind of like that. I don't know if you actually heard it make a noise. But then you just lift this off. Possibly. If it's going to cooperate or not. And you can lift this whole entire thing off. And in here is your... I'll just show you, since it's a little hard to see from there. So yeah, you just lift that off and there is your basket. It does say to make sure that you always have the basket in here when you're brewing, whether you're brewing the pods or regular coffee. And I did want to show you the water reservoir here before I got it all clean and stuff, but it does have your water lines here for how you want to do everything. And I also wanted to just show you a little more up close. So this is the whole entire unit here on the little side here. You just flip that down, and that's for your single cup or even your travel mug, because it does say that you can do that here. And then there is your little scoop like I showed you earlier. And some Ninja models will have like a I believe it's a heat monitor, so you can adjust your heat, but obviously as you see on my particular model, I do not have that. Just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, let me go ahead and get all those parts cleaned up, and then we can get ready to calibrate the machine and move on. Alright, so everybody is all cleaned and ready to move on to the calibrating part. You need to plug in your unit. That's kind of a key part here. Maybe, if I know how to plug it into my outlet. And it says to fill the water reservoir to the full line with fresh water. So obviously I'm going to be filling it all the way to the top here. And I'll just slide it, slide it on into place. Oops, there we go. Alright, got it filled up here. Remove the Ninja pod, which I already did, and this is the pod that's easily removable, because you're going to do just a regular carafe of water to get it ready to go here. It says remove the Ninja pod, which I did, and slide the sliding lid into the closed position. Alright, so I figured, well, I should say my partner in crime, my husband, actually figured out how to get this into place. The trick is to take it completely off the back and get it lined up. I'm gonna see if I can do it now that he showed me once. And then it should slide into place just perfect like that. So it always helps to have a second set of eyes if you're not 100% sure. And so now with that being said, I'll take you guys off here and see. Power button. All right, now as you can see, it looks a lot different. I'm going to see. Oh, there we go. And you just turn your little dial here to get to where you need to be. And as you can see, the display changes every time you move it over. And this is obviously its ounces, as you can see that. So this is actually pretty neat now that I know what I'm doing. And then you can see you can change your brew style over here. So that's kind of unique. And we're gonna go ahead, everything's good to go. It's open here, so I'm gonna just push the start brew. And we're gonna wait and see. As you can see, it is gonna brew through the whole entire water reservoir. And then we'll be ready to actually brew some coffee here. So yeah, I'll be back when it is all done. I just wanted to show you too that while it's filling up down here, this little spot changes. So obviously you can see it's going up, so it blinks as it's moving up, and it'll stop at the very end when it's all done. But so I am actually fairly impressed, even though this is just the cleaning process. But, and especially, I mean, like I've said before, this part does seem, you know, pretty cheap. I would think that they would have made it a little bit better, considering the fact it is a Ninja product, but that's just me. I do like the display and everything though. It's very different than what I'm used to or have seen before. So, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that you can see it's blinking when it's filling up down here. So very fancy. Alright, so as you can see, we are completely done here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this while I dump out the water here. Get that all taken care of. And first I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole carafe. And I'm going to use our nifty little Ninja scoop. And I do want to show you, in this quick start guide, it does give you like a little table here. There's other little things here too, like if you're doing the grounds or the pods, it does go through and explain how to put everything into place and stuff. And this is more on the pod, the Ninja pod assembly part. And obviously you can see this if you choose to buy this. And then it just kind of shows you here. But yeah, I wanted to get down here to the little scoop. I know I had sort of explained it a little bit earlier, but this actually gets a little more in-depth here to show you the servings and all that good stuff here. So we're going to definitely, I like 4 scoops in my coffee. I need to slide it back just so I can put a coffee filter in. So and it's pretty simple, you just got to push it back there. I'm going to use one of the filters in here. Alright, so I went ahead and got one of the filters out of here. It looks like, I believe it comes with 4 or 5 filters. So that's kind of nice that they go ahead and send you some filters to start off with. So that's kind of nice of them. Go ahead, open up my filter here and kind of set it down in there. Alright. Let me get my regular scoop out of here. And I'm going to use the bigger side for the 4 to 7 scoops here. And I do it just about level. But you can definitely heap it up if you want to. ready. Alright, so there is 4 scoops. Again, I'm going to go ahead and see about sliding this guy back into place. I'm hoping he'll be nice and cooperate. He will! Alright. So that's really nice. Better go ahead and refill my water reservoir. And since I'm doing a full carafe, I'm going to go ahead and fill it all the way to the fill line here. With cold water, of course. Alright. We got that filled to the brim pretty much. Pretty close. I could probably put a little bit more in there, but I think it's alright just like that. Go ahead and get this slid back into place here and on its little stand. Alright, and we're going to be ready to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and move the little lever. I'll get you guys a little closer here. So like I said, I am ready to do a full carafe of regular coffee. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the open position. Alright, so yeah, I'm ready to do a full carafe. As you can see, it's already over here on the 55 ounce, which is the full carafe. You can definitely tone it down, but since we have a full water reservoir, I'm going to go ahead and just do the full thing. So I hit start brew, and as you can see, it starts over at the end here, or beginning I should say. And yeah, it's going to go all the way over to here, so I'll wait and let this start doing its thing. It does make a little bit of noise at first, but I don't find that to be annoying by any means. And it does just look like this because, like I said, I did just pour out that hot water. So, but there's obviously definitely nothing wrong with the machine, and as you can see, it is brewing here. And I'm just gonna kind of let it go and let you guys watch it just for a little bit here. And as you can see, the water reservoir is definitely draining, working properly, so that's always good. A little bit of steam coming out, not too bad though. So, and like I said in the calibration part, it said for high altitudes, if you don't calibrate it, it will steam a lot more, I guess. So that's why it's always good to take care of your machine first, like do the proper protocol of getting it all cleaned out before you actually use it. I think it makes a huge difference just in general, because you just never know. I mean, with the package stuff and everything like that, you know, some of it might still have some of it stuck to it, like styrofoam or something like that. So it's always good to just clean any parts that are washable before you use any type of product. So, but yes, as you can see, we are getting some coffee down there, so I will come back and let you take a look at it when it's all finished here. Alright, we just ended here, so I'm gonna go ahead and close my little valve just so it doesn't continue to drip coffee. And as you can see, it's automatically over to the keep warm function, which is pretty nice. I would say it definitely does not have the pause and pour function like most other standard coffee makers, as you can see, but it does have that little valve for the open and close, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, so there is a carafe of coffee with the Ninja Foodie. Yes, this is in fact not the Ninja Foodie. This is the Ninja Coffee Maker, my bad. The Ninja Foodie's right over there, and that's fantastic. Anyway, we're not doing a video on that. So yeah, let me move on to making a single cup of coffee here. So bear with me here just a minute. Alright, so now that I'm done with the carafe of coffee in the Ninja Coffee Maker, I'm going to go ahead and do a single cup. So you'll go ahead and push that, or slide that back all the way, just so you can get the basket out. I find this a little odd, and I'm not sure if the coffee maker was completely done, but there is, as you can see, there's still some water in here and coffee, which is kind of weird. I would have thought that it would have brewed all the way through in the carafe and everything, so that is definitely a little strange. I would count that as another ding for the Ninja coffee maker not being all that great, considering the amount of money that you spend on one of these. So, but anyway, nonetheless, we're going to move on to brewing a single cup of coffee, and we're going to use the coffee grounds. And then I'll move on to actually doing a coffee, like a K-cup. Alright, now that I got that thrown out, I'll go ahead and put the basket back in here. We'll go ahead and grab another filter. And I probably did not mention it before, or I might if I'm not 100% sure, but it does come with the cone coffee filters, so you will have to buy the cone coffee filters versus the regular ones. Not that that's a big deal or anything, but so anyway, we're just going to go ahead and stick that coffee filter in there like so. I'm going to use one of the bigger mugs, so I will probably end up filling it, well, to me it's kind of like a full coffee cup, I should say. Let me grab my coffee here. I know what I'm trying to say, if that makes a difference to anybody. It just probably doesn't sound like it's coming out right. But anyway, so for my single cup, I'm going to use the smaller end here. And for that, it says that you can use 2 to 3 small scoops depending on how strong you like your coffee. I will probably just do 2 heaping scoops here. So there's 1. And then here's 2. Alright, I got the coffee in there. I'm just going to slide this shut now and let it click. It probably didn't sound like it did anything, but it did, I promise you. I'm going to go ahead and sit my mug. You can try, I mean, obviously, like I said, there is that little tray that folds out, but as you can see, my mug's a little taller, so I'm going to go ahead and just set it underneath there, about like so. And then, of course, you want to fill up your water reservoir. And with this, I'll probably fill it to the, I'm going to actually just do this one right here at the bottom. So, we'll just see how this works out here. I'm going to get some cold water. Alright. Oh, pretty close. Just a hair full, so I'm going to just dump a little bit out here. There we go. I'll show you guys. So we're looking at, just want to make sure you guys can see it. I did pour out just a little bit too much, but nonetheless, it should work out just perfect. Just going to slide that back on there like so. We're going to turn it on. And for the sake of having you guys be a little close, there is how full the water is, as you can see there. And then, since I'm going to do my mug here, I'm going to go ahead and have it on the full setting since it is a bigger mug. And I'm going to open the little latch there and I'm going to start my brewing. And we're going to see how this works. And as you can see, again, it's starting at the smallest little tick mark there, I guess you would call that. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. I mean, minus the lid up here being kind of a pain to deal with, but like I said, it always helps having a second set of eyes to help out with this situation. So, but yeah, once we get done with this, we'll move on to actually brewing a K-cup here, because there's your K-cup pod thing. And like I said before, you do have to have that removed before you brew any type of regular coffee. Otherwise it probably would not work. But while that's brewing, I know I already showed you all this part here where the different scoop measurements and stuff, it's pretty convenient. And then it just goes on to, you know, choosing a method to brew and all that. So there's a lot of information in this little booklet, so that definitely makes a big difference. And as you can see, it's brewing. Pretty excited. And I like that you can choose, you know, your brew style too. I think that makes a big difference. That's something else that's kind of unique for this particular coffee maker. And while that's finishing, we can just kind of go through this. You can even do it over ice, as you can see. So and then the drip stop, it talks about that. So, and then there's even a guide to keeping your coffee hot. So lots of neat things in this little quick start guide. And then, like I said, you also get your coffee filters that come in the box, excuse me. And then your user guide there. So there's a lot of good things with this particular model. And it does look like, I'm just noticing while I'm standing here watching this brew here, you can even set like a delayed time. So if you want, you know, say you have to get up and go to work at like 8 in the morning, you can set your coffee maker for, you know, 6 a.m. or whatever. So that's kind of neat that it has that function on here as well. And you will notice with this doing the single mug, I noticed that the keep warm function is not on, just because we're doing a single cup versus the whole carafe, and you can actually see that the little heat plate light isn't on either. So that's pretty neat. I just noticed that. But anyway, as you can see, it finalizing the little drips here. It looks like we're pretty much done with our ground coffee, single cup of coffee. That sounded kind of silly, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. So now that we're done with that part, I will probably move on to a K-cup, and yeah, I'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready to go for the K-cup. Go ahead and lift the lid here so I can slide this back. Be careful, it's very hot. We're gonna go ahead and dump out the coffee filter. This actually brewed the whole thing through, and as you can see, there's no water left in it, so I'm not sure if I just didn't let it brew all the way through or not, but it did. I mean, it said that it was done, so I assumed that it was done, but I could have been wrong there. Nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and stick your basket back in, because this has to be in here no matter what. Whether you do the pods or the ground coffee, it has to be in here. And I believe we can just set that like that, and then you'll just make sure that's snug up against there. I will point out that on the top here, right over here, where it says remove and lock, that is what this little thing is for. So if you pull that forward, you will see that it is now in the lock position. And now you can proceed to lift it open to do your K-cup. So I didn't realize that when I was doing that just a second ago. Put your little pod in there. And go ahead and close. And then this has already changed. And like I said, since I'm doing my bigger cup, I am going to do 12 ounces because it is about that size. And as you see, I will have to fill my water reservoir because it has drained already. And I just realized this too. Obviously this is for your pod. Oops, there we go. Sorry about that. This is for your pod and this is for your coffee grounds. Got some water in there. Putting the tank back on. And we are pretty much ready to go. And like I showed you, I already have it set on 12 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and open the coffee maker, because obviously it's not going to brew if you don't open the little latch. So it is getting ready to do its thing. And again, I'll let you come over here and see. And I do want to let you know, you probably couldn't hear it, but it will beep at you. If you have it closed, if you hit the start button, it will beep at you. So that's kind of nice that it will warn you that you can't brew anything if the little latch is closed. And as you can see, I know that I have it set for this, but as it's finishing through the cycle, it'll actually go all the way to the end here. And it'll beep nice when it's done. So that's pretty cool. Because to anybody, it might seem like, oh my gosh, it's going to go ahead and brew this whole entire thing, but I only have this cup. That is definitely not the case. It will actually just brew this because this is the one that's lit right now. So just in case anybody's a little confused by it, I could see where there would be a little bit of confusion for sure. But since you have the dial set on this one, that's only going to be, well, as you can see, as it nears the end here. Let's see. See? So that's kind of nice. And then see, it just goes back to you're at your full 12-ounce cup of coffee pod coffee. So there is that function of it. And then I believe we're gonna do one more version of it over ice. So bear with me while I get everything ready. Alright, I am ready to go to the brew over ice function on this Ninja coffee maker. And I am very well aware that this is just a regular glass that I have. I don't have a specific glass for iced coffee. So first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and fill my cup here with ice cubes. And you will notice that I have the reusable ice cubes. And I figured they were just as good as the other ones. I apologize for the background noise. And for this particular version, I am just going to go ahead and do another K-cup in here. You can definitely use whichever one you prefer. If you prefer ground coffee, you can do that. Or, you know, K-cup like I'm getting ready to do. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on. I'm going to leave it set at 12 ounces. And I'm going to go ahead and put another K-cup in here. Be careful. It will be hot if you had just used it for any other regular K-cups, like for a regular cup of coffee. Just be careful because it will be a little bit hot. We'll go ahead and close that there. And definitely want to fill your water reservoir again. And again, I'm just doing the 12 ounces, so I'm going to just fill it up to the bottom line here. For the coffee, I think I got it pretty darn close. So we're going to go ahead and get that going. Yeah, she is not a happy camper at the moment, so I apologize. And I'm going to go ahead and pick you guys up so I can show you a little closer here. The Brew Style. So obviously we're on Classic right here, and we want to go to over ice. And so, like I said, everything is pretty much ready to go. You have my cup there. You have your water filled. It is a hair below the 12-ounce mark, but nonetheless. And I'll show you what this does. So it flashed because it was closed, and you obviously want it open when you're brewing. And so it is gonna do its thing here. And I know I just said this a second ago, I do have, obviously, your reusable ice cubes, but you can use whatever ice, you can use regular ice cubes, or if you get really crafty, you could even pour some leftover coffee in your ice cube tray and freeze your coffee like that, and then just put your coffee ice cubes in here. So, it is pretty much whatever you desire. But yeah, there we go. You see, it's doing its job. So I have to say, I mean, this is a very unique coffee maker. It definitely beats my Black & Decker that I have. I totally lied. I have a Mr. Coffee maker. I apologize. I know that I had said I had a Black & Decker, but I lied. I just looked over and it's a Mr. Coffee. It does do its job. It is just a regular, I'll just do a quick little shot here. It is just a regular old coffee pot and it does just perfect. But this, on the other hand, is very unique. I love the fact that you can do, see, we're done. We are done with our iced coffee, so that's pretty neat. So since we're done, I'm going to go ahead and close it. And I'm pretty much done with the machine for now, so I'm going to just turn it off and it'll go back to the time. Obviously, that's not the right time. But yeah, so there is your iced coffee there. Don't mind the rest of the stuff on the drying pad. But overall, I do like the Ninja coffee maker. I do enjoy the fact that you can do ground coffee or K-cups. I would probably do ground coffee if I was doing a full carafe of coffee, just because I'm not sure how strong the flavor would be if you did just one K-cup in the I almost said foodie again, I apologize, in the coffee maker. So I do want to show the little pull-out tray. I do have other coffee mugs other than my giant one there. So let me grab a couple out of the cupboard here. As you can see, we do have an odd variety of coffee mugs in our house, but that's totally fine. Little variety is always nice. The blue one, as you can see, it didn't fit on the little tray because that's just a little bit too tall. But this one definitely fits in there just perfect. And then I also have this little guy, which is a little bit smaller. So as you can see, it does fit an odd variety of coffee cups, which is another nice little bonus. And yeah, and like I said, there's the little spot for your coffee scoop. I do have it laying right there, but it does go right there. And I can just put that in there. So that's kind of nice that you can have your little scoop right there if you don't want to leave it in your coffee or whatever for the next time you need a cup. But yeah, that is how you use the Ninja coffee maker.